Welcome to Elevate Your English.
Where confidence meets communication.
You know grammar. You know vocabulary. You have studied English for years, maybe 5 years, maybe 10. But the moment someone asks you a simple question in English, your mind goes completely blank. You open your mouth, nothing comes out. And inside your head, you are translating, desperately, word by word, like a slow, broken machine.
And the worst part? You knew what you wanted to say. In your own language, it was right there. But in English, it disappeared. And you stand there, smiling awkwardly, feeling like your brain just betrayed you.
That feeling, that exact moment of panic, that is what we are talking about today. Because there is a reason this keeps happening. And once you understand it, honestly, everything starts to change.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. I am Jessica.
And I am James. This is Real English Conversations, the podcast where we talk about the real problems English learners face. Not just grammar rules, not just vocabulary lists. The stuff that actually happens when you try to speak.
And today's topic is something so many of our listeners have messaged us about. The translation habit. That little voice in your head that takes every English sentence and runs it through your native language first.
If you have ever felt frustrated, like your English in your head is completely different from the English that comes out of your mouth, this episode is for you.
Okay, James, let's be honest. This translation habit, where does it even come from?
Right. So here is the thing most people don't realize. When you first learned English, in school, from a textbook, you were never actually taught to think in English. You were taught to convert English. Your teacher would say a word in English and immediately match it to your language. So your brain built a habit, a strong one.
It is like your brain made a road, and every time you try to speak English, it automatically takes that old road, even when you don't want it to.
Exactly. And the more stressful the situation, the faster your brain runs back to that road. Because your native language feels safe. It feels fast. English still feels like work.
I remember talking to a listener named Pamela. She said she could write emails in English perfectly, but when her manager asked her a question in a meeting, just one question, she completely froze. She said her mind went to her language first, then tried to translate, and by the time she had the answer ready, the conversation had already moved on.
And that is so common. It is not a grammar problem. It is not a vocabulary problem. It is a processing problem. Your brain is doing too many steps. Native speakers, they do not translate. They just produce directly.
So the goal is not to learn more words. The goal is to build a new road, a direct one, from thought to English, no detour.
Let's talk about some situations where this hits people the hardest, because it is not the same for everyone.
For a lot of learners, it is casual conversation that breaks them. Not formal English, not tests, just small talk. Someone says, "How was your weekend?" And suddenly, it is a crisis.
Because small talk is unpredictable. You cannot prepare for it. And unpredictable means your brain has no script, so it panics and reaches for the translation tool.
There is also something called emotional blocking. When you feel nervous or embarrassed, your brain actually slows down. The language center gets quieter. So even words you know perfectly in a calm moment, they just vanish when the pressure is on.
And then there is the perfectionism trap. So many learners are translating not just to find words, but to find the perfect words. They want the sentence to be correct before they say it out loud. And that checking process, that is where the silence comes from.
It is like trying to send a message, but you keep editing it and never press send.
It is like trying to send a message, but you keep editing it and never press send.
Okay, so what actually helps? Because I know people have tried things, apps, watching movies, shadowing, and still the problem stays.
The first thing, and this sounds simple, but it is genuinely powerful, is to start thinking out loud in English. Not speaking to someone, just narrating your own life, in your head, or quietly, alone.
Like you are making tea and you think, I am boiling water. The cup is blue. I am tired today. Small, boring, doesn't matter. The point is, you are creating a habit of generating English directly, without a translation step.
Your brain slowly starts to associate everyday thoughts with English words. Not your native language words, then English words. Just English. That rewiring takes time, but it works.
The second thing is about emotion, actually. And this surprised me when I first heard it. If you learn a word or a phrase when you are emotionally connected to it, like you heard it in a funny video or someone said it to you in a real conversation, your brain stores it differently, more directly, more quickly accessible.
Because emotion creates memory. A word you looked up in a dictionary and studied, it lives in one part of your brain. A word you heard when you were laughing or surprised or moved, that lives somewhere deeper. And it comes back faster when you need it.
So instead of studying 50 words from a list, find 10 words from content that actually made you feel something. A scene from a show, a conversation that stuck with you. That is real acquisition.
And the third thing, this is about the perfectionism trap we mentioned, is learning to speak in smaller, simpler pieces. English does not need to be complicated to be correct. I don't know. That's interesting. Can you say that again? These are not baby phrases. They are real, fluent English.
Most learners think fluency means long, complex sentences. It doesn't. Fluency means smooth and natural. And smooth and natural often sounds very simple.
When you give yourself permission to speak simply, you remove the translation step almost completely. Because simple English comes faster, and when it comes faster, the conversation keeps moving. And when conversations keep moving, your confidence grows.
Okay, here is your challenge for this week. Just one thing. We are not asking for a lot.
Every morning, for just 5 minutes, talk to yourself in English. Out loud if possible, or in your head if you are on the train or in a public place. Describe what you see, what you feel, what you are doing.
No grammar rules, no checking, just produce. Let it be messy, let it be imperfect. That messiness is not failure. That is your brain building the road.
Do that for 7 days, and notice what happens when someone speaks to you in English. We think you will feel the difference.
All right, let's bring it all together.
We translate in our heads because our brains were trained to convert English, not create it. That is a habit, not a talent problem.
The 3 things that actually help. Thinking out loud in English every day. Learning vocabulary through emotional moments. And allowing yourself to speak simply instead of perfectly.
You do not need to fix your grammar first. You need to start building that direct connection. Thought to English. No detour.
Now, our vocabulary section. 5 words from today's episode. Useful, real, intermediate level.
Word 1. Acquire. It means to slowly gain something through experience, not just study. She acquired her confidence by speaking English every day. Speaking practice question. What skill have you acquired without taking a class? Word 2. Process. To go through steps to understand or produce something. My brain takes time to process new languages. Speaking practice question. What kind of information is hard for you to process quickly? Word 3. Fluency. the ability to speak smoothly and naturally. Fluency is not about perfection, it is about flow. Speaking practice question. Do you think fluency and accuracy are the same thing? Word 4. Perfectionism. The habit of wanting everything to be perfect before acting. Her perfectionism stopped her from speaking in meetings. Speaking practice question. Has perfectionism ever stopped you from doing something? Word 5. Rewire. To change how your brain thinks or responds. Daily practice can rewire your brain to think in English. Speaking practice question. What habit have you rewired in your life?
Here is what we want to leave you with today. The translation habit is not your fault. Nobody taught you to think in English. They taught you to decode it, and decoding is slow.
But the good news is, your brain is not fixed. It is flexible. Every time you think one sentence in English without translating, you are building something. Quietly, steadily.
You do not have to be fluent tomorrow. You just have to take one small step today.
And honestly, you have already taken one. You listened to this whole episode in English. That counts.
If this episode felt like it was made for you, it was. Share it with one person who needs to hear it.
And if you are not subscribed yet, please do. We release new episodes every week. Real conversations, real problems, real English.
Until next time, keep going, even when it is messy, especially when it is messy.
See you in the next one.